This is Aaron Miller with Kicker Tech Force.
And I'm Carlos with the Kicker Tech Force.
We are here to talk about Kicker's premium marine lineup of speakers and subwoofers. But first of all, Carlos, what is Kicker Real Marine?
Good question, Aaron. So like our friend Phil has taught us, Kicker Real Marine is a cookbook that we follow. So it's a bunch of recipes that we come up with our products to make sure we're compliant with the marine industry, and we're going to be able to put out a product that's going to withstand all the abuse of that environment as well.
So salt, fog, dirt,
fresh
dust,
water,
mud, fresh water, all of it. So the products are designed for that environment, but not to be affected by that environment, which Phil says, and I love that line. So, okay, so that's Real Marine. Now let's talk specifically about the speakers starting in the far right there.
All right, so we'll start with the MSC coaxes. These are really cool coaxes. It's our premium line, as we talked about, but what makes it premium is, one, you're going to have a carbon fiber reinforced cone, so it's going to be able to withstand or handle more power. What's really cool that I like is the tweeter that we're using. If you notice, that tweeter is actually floating as well, so you're going to have more cone area. But that tweeter will also, the tweeter is also made out of a textile dome. What's a textile dome?
Carlos, what's the benefit of a textile dome?
So it is a Tetheron dome, and the whole benefit of using a Tetheron dome is it's going to give you the performance of a silk dome tweeter without having to have any of the issues that silk would have in a salt water or a water environment.
Like absorbing moisture and UV breakdown.
Exactly.
So these are strong. And oh, side note, Tetheron is also used in premium rain gear like raincoats and hats.
So it's designed for water, right?
Absolutely. Hydrophobic is the word that Phil uses.
Good.
So that's the tweeter, that's the mid-range. Show us the back side of this beautiful driver.
Now, if we look at the back over here, you're going to see that the basket itself is made out of a nylon glass composite. So again, ideal for that marine atmosphere. Now, big deal that you're going to notice that's going to draw your attention right away is this silicone gasket. What do you think the silicone gasket's for, Aaron?
Well, I'm pretty sure it's to seal the speaker against the hull of the boat.
Yes, so the silicone gasket is going to help us comply with ISO 12216.
Which means?
ISO 12216, look it up, guys. It is the marine standard that you have to, or that the doors and windows have to go through to make sure you don't get any ingress water into the boat.
So if the boat's taken on water, the speaker will not allow water to go around it or through the cone.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
Now, if we look through the back again, I'm sorry here, you're going to see two plugs because we don't have any speaker wires or any spades coming out, right? So these two plugs back here, you're going to use these Amphenol plugs. One is going to be for speaker wire. As you see, it goes in, it's watertight, and the other one's going to be for RGBW lighting.
RGBW, what's the W?
We'll talk about that later.
Okay. All right, so we got the coax. Now, talk about the component.
These components, all the cool features that you saw on here already, but you're going to have a separate tweeter on the side.
Now, what's the benefit of a component tweeter in a boat?
Okay, so we have someone like my cousin Tito, right? He's on his boat. He's got a loud engine on the back. His kids are screaming next to him. His wife is yelling at him, and he's got wind in his face. So what's really cool about having a tweeter that you can mount separately is now you could just mount it wherever you want, because Tito likes to hear his highs just crisp,
yes,
right in his face, whether it's in his boat, it's in his car, his ATV, UTV. So this is ideal for him because he can mount it wherever he needs it to give him the best performance. Now, for mounting, we're going to give you two cups. One's going to be for surface mount. The other is going to be for a flush mount. So you're just going to drill a hole, mount this in, and then put your tweeter in your place, and you're good to go. Now, when we look at the back of the component, again, nylon glass-filled composite. You're going to have your Amphenol plugs. You're going to have your silicone gasket back here, and you actually have the crossover built into the motor structure back here. So nothing is exposed, everything is concealed, all inside watertight.
For our sound quality friends, another benefit of having a component tweeter is it takes the tweeter off the center of the mid-range, which actually smooths out the frequency response of the mid-range, giving you even better sound quality. So there's a lot to love about these speakers.
And something I didn't talk about, they actually come with white and gray grills.
Oh yeah, fantastic. So it can
like
match
how I said
whatever
white and gray?
Yeah, backwards there. So now we've got the mids and the highs. Let's talk about the bass.
All right, so our premium subwoofer is going to be available in 10-inch, 12-inch, and they're going to be available in 4 ohm. So they come with those gray grills that you see right there. If you wanted white, that's optional. But all the cool features that you liked about the premium marine components or coaxes, you're going to see on the subwoofer as well. So you're going to have carbon fiber reinforced cones. You're going to have the nylon glass composite basket. You're going to have that the amphenol connectors and the silicone gasket as well. So everything that you liked on there, plus more, right? So again, 10-inch, 12-inch, available on 4 ohm.
Now, they also come in enclosed or free air versions. What's the benefit of a free air version?
So let's say if you don't want to make a specialty or a special enclosure, especially on a boat, you know, you don't want to build a wooden box or anything like that. So a lot of guys will take, let's say, an under seat that you can take up someplace where you're you have storage. You could just cut out a hole, mount your woofer, obviously reinforce it, but now you're using a free air application.
So you get great bass without having to actually build an enclosure.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. Now, if you've got space for a great enclosure, let's talk about this.
Okay, so that enclosure right there is going to use our 10-inch premium woofer with a bass reflex subwoofer. If you don't know what a bass reflex subwoofer is, it is basically a passive radiator. And the benefit of using a passive radiator is that it allows you to get that big thunderous deep bass without having to use a huge enclosure because you don't need to use a port. That does the same job of a port without any of the negatives, let's say.
Yeah, and it comes with these cool short legs, as you like to mention.
Yeah, just like me.
So what are these for?
So these are mounting legs, so you can mount it however you want. You can stand it up as you see right there. You can face the enclosure down, or you can face it up. So multiple mounting options for you.
Yeah, let me get that amphenol and show the audience there.
So this plug is really cool because it's got everything that you need right there. So you're going to have your speaker wire. You're also going to have your RGBW lighting wire on there. But there's a really cool feature on there, Aaron.
Oh, yeah, back there.
So as you know, if you're going to have that on a boat, in a boat environment, you're going to be exposed to moisture, you're going to be exposed to different temperatures as well. So you will have issues of expanding contraction inside the enclosure, right? So that plug itself has a little hole on there that allows water or air to escape from that enclosure, making sure the integrity of the box stays safe.
And this is something we feature on all of our KICKER Real Marine speaker enclosures. So it's just part of the Real Marine cookbook. So we've got the great bass, we've got the mids and the highs. Let's talk about this distribution block. What's this for?
So that is a RGBW distribution block. So when you're doing installs with RGBs on a boat or even an ATV, UTV, any type of RGB install, it becomes a challenge to make sure that those cables are really clean and you make sure that you're not going to have a mess or somewhere where you're doing the install. So this distribution block allows you to run all your wires to one place and make sure you got a clean connection. And we also have white. Why do we have white, Aaron?
What is the W for?
Because the premium lineup now has white lights.
So it is a true white, like an incandescent warm white, which is what the premium boaters are looking for.
So RGBW.
White.
Now what happens, Aaron, if I just bought a boat and it came with the factory 8.8-inch speakers and I said, you know what, I really want those premium marine coaxes.
Ta-da!
So this mount, this LED mount that isn't lit for right now, but this LED mount is really cool because you can replace those factory 8.8-inch speakers. The holes line up with those factory 8.8-inch speakers, mount that there, and now you can mount any of our speakers and you're good to go.
So you can upgrade to the KICKER Real Marine products. Fantastic. If you have more questions or you just want to do a deeper dive, go to kicker.com and check out all the KICKER Real Marine products.